Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Vicinity and Beyond podcast with me, Henry Ginman.
And me, Julie Grail.
And today we have swapped places.
Oh, we have, haven't we? On the other side of the table. I feel like I'm in a foreign land, Henry. So today you are the expert, and today I am the interviewer.
Okay.
Let's see how that goes, shall we?
I feel like I should be more nervous than you.
Well, we'll see. So I think lots of biz have been talking to us about this. I think lots of us are talking about this on a kind of everyday basis, this big topic of AI. And what we're going to try and do is go back to basics and understand sort of starting points right through to practical applications, issues, concerns, sort of safeguards, things to watch, and then a bit of horizon scanning. So let's sort of jump in, and I wanted to start with this point that if software businesses are canary in the coal mine, and I'm the donkey that is still carrying around all the baggage because I'm not a very good early adopter of tech. Henry, tell us where you are in this. You're a tech guy, so you kind of know this, don't you? Give us a bit of background.
Am I a tech guy? I suppose I'm a tech guy in that for 14 years now, since university, I've worked in software businesses. But I would describe it as the business of software. Mm-hmm. So I've worked selling software, educational software into universities, into financial services sector, more latterly into place management. And I did spend a couple of years in 2016, 2017 in an AI business. But that was a different form of AI to what we'll end up talking about today. Back then we were using something called IBM Watson, and I was selling it into big companies, enterprises like Legal & General, Jones Lang LaSalle, Stena Line, and what people would have annoyingly called chatbots. We tried to rebrand them as conversational AI assistants. But the way they worked was we would classify the intents of the questions coming in. Mm-hmm. What are people asking? And then we'd have a massive bank of answers, mm-hmm. and we'd try and link the AI, the clever bit, the natural language processing was working out what people were asking, and we would link the question to the answer and then display the answer back. And what changed a few years ago when ChatGPT came out was actually we didn't need this massive bank of answers anymore. The AI was going to generate the response back to the user as well. So where am I going with this? As an expert, I'm not technical. I'm not deeply technical. I'm not going to start telling people about what a neural net is. And
you're
and
way
how
further forward than me, though.
Okay.
You seem an expert to me.
But I'm very interested in how this works, how we apply it, like practically. How does it solve problems for people? And in terms of software being the canary in the coal mine, which sounds a bit, like a harbinger of doom. I think I mean it more in terms of we're a bellwether. We're a bellwether of what's coming. We are foreshadowing, and the reason being is because one of the first things that software developers who have created AI have done is they've trained it on what they know, and what do they know best? Software development.
Right.
And so what AI has got very good at very quickly above all else, I would argue, would be software development. And so the changes that we've in some cases been forced upon us as a business, and in other cases we are taking advantage of, I think we're going to see other businesses follow. And that's looking at Vicinity as a small business doing all the things that businesses do: recruiting, selling, providing services, administration. That's going to be common across all kinds of businesses. And so I think there's probably lessons for others to learn in what we've done, and perhaps warnings as well.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just track right back and say, what do we mean by AI? What's people's experience and kind of extent of their knowledge of AI? So what's your first experience of AI, if you kind of take yourself back to consumer focus as well as professional focus? Give us an example of when you thought, I've just made that happen.
I'll stick to this generation, because AI, I suppose, in computing worlds, lots of people say it's not new, and there's things like there's a Turing test. So for years, computer scientists and developers have been working to develop solutions to try and trick humans to making them think that they're conversing with a real person when it's actually a computer. But for years, this was, deterministic programming. It was if this, then that. People are writing systems to try and do that. What's changed, and I think as everyone recognises it, was it 2022 probably, was ChatGPT being released. That idea that I mentioned about being able to generate a response to a user with what's called a large language model. And that, I think, is what's really kind of excited everyone, is this idea that AI in its under the hood is a probabilistic system. It is all it's doing is predicting the next word in the sentence or the next letter of the next word. But the sum total of all the massive amounts of training it's had is it appears very good at providing responses, ingesting huge amounts of information and giving you an answer. And increasingly now actually doing things for you as well. Your question though, I remember kind of within this industry chatting to Steph in Leamington and Chris in York and showing them ChatGPT and sitting with them, and I said, what's a recent thing you've done as a bid? Let's write you a press release. They told me a bit of information, I put in a prompt, enter, 30 seconds later, you've got this press release. And I don't know who it was who said, but it's that moment when there's been a leap in technological advance that it's indistinguishable from magic. And you're like, wow, like how has that done that? That's incredible. And I still feel that regularly because the pace of change is so scarily rapid. And there's a new system for generating an image, or there's a new system which can now do a whole video. And some of the kids, they're putting themselves into famous films and scenes now, and it looks like they're actually there, or even creating whole films with AI.
And I guess that's probably one of my first experiences is the visual stuff, is playing around and using stuff to either caricature ourselves as a profile picture, or to realise that my professional portrait photo that I needed in a hurry for something, I could just whack in ChatGPT and it could tidy it up for me, and I didn't change how I looked. I just improved my background actually, because it was a photo that wasn't a formal professional photo, but it became one. God, it's just a doddle. Why would I need a professional photographer anymore? Why would I need to go to a studio? And it's all those kind of simple things, I think, that they've crept, well, not even gradual, is it? Rapidly crept into our everyday life without us almost realising those are all examples of AI. And I guess part of the challenge is, how do we move the bid industry, or the staff within the bid industry, into utilising things that definitely are labour saving, efficiency sort of achieving, without and still maintaining kind of authenticity and kind of human touch. And I'm very aware that, and I'm probably, being the donkey in the coal mine rather than the canary, I'm probably one of these people that still has a bit of a shadow of the days of having irritating live chat on a banking website that would absolutely infuriate me.
It wasn't me.
Something you created. That has slightly switched us off from adopting and embracing some of this technology, whilst it is new and advanced and different technology. And there's been, I think that and I'm a slow adopter of technology. I think there are a lot of things that are now so easy that we should be doing, and that's kind of first base. And one of the first base things I would say is, why would anyone physically use a person with a pen to take notes of meetings anymore? Absolute no-brainer, isn't it? Is there any downside to that?
No, I don't know why you would.
No.
I've sat in a few meetings in sort of what do you describe as protected professions, I suppose, where accountants, financial advisors, lawyers, where they've said to me, "Oh, we're not allowed to as a firm. We haven't had the permissions." And I've said, "Do you mind if I do?" as the client in that situation, and they've said, "Please, and can you share the notes with me?" Absolutely. And I think that's just there are some genuine concerns that need ironing out there for certain people, but I think those will be ironed out with time, and you'll find those organisations will adopt, especially for those sort of tasks.
Yeah, and I've certainly, with most of my clients, we've got kind of rolling documents, shared documents that now track all of our conversations at each meeting, not necessarily formal meetings, but kind of working groups and things, that just then feed us the next agenda for the next meeting each week. And it takes the single ownership off an agenda, but also it just takes the pressure off all of you, so you all actively engage in a meeting rather than having somebody on the sidelines not contributing.
And I think we'll come back to that point a lot, which is the idea that what's it's allowing you to do, because it's taking away this cognitive load of doing these admin and I think we'll see that the benefit that comes out of this again and again is well, I'll focus on this because I'm not doing that. But just to touch on the adoption, some stats for you, like some stats to throw in.
Numbers.
So ChatGPT estimated to reach 100 million monthly active users within 2 months of its launch. Fastest growing consumer application ever at the time. I don't know if anything's surpassed it. 20 to 25 usage, they reckon that 700 million weekly active users by the time of that study, and around 30% of that consumer usage was actually work related.
Wow.
So people using it, maybe personal accounts, but actually they're doing work jobs on it. Just one more for you. McKinsey 2025 State of the AI report found that 88% of respondents said their organizations regularly use AI in at least one business function. Maybe taking notes.
I mean, if they don't, they need to make 2 then, because they absolutely should be taking their notes.
That's an easy one.
Right, so tell me about Vicinity then. How are you using AI in Vicinity? How's it kind of changed the way you do things? And that's kind of from an internal point of view, but also how you then feed that back to us as bids into the bid industry.
Hard pressed to find an area of the business that hasn't changed.
Okay.
So where should we start? Let's start with developing software. No, appreciate this might not be directly relevant to bids, but it will help me tell the story. So I'll start with Feature Factory. So we've got this new thing called Feature Factory. It sits on a website. Any of our customers can go to it and they can suggest an idea to us about what they want us to build in our software that would help them. In the past, that process would have been a case of sending that to us, I guess, via email or in a conversation. One of my team would note that down into a backlog somewhere. Someone in my product and development team then has to analyze that, and they kind of look at it, and do they understand it? Do they have to go back to the customer and ask them what they meant and clarify some questions? Well, all that's gone now. Customer goes to Feature Factory, says, I've got this idea, and they're actually talking to an AI, and the AI would say, well, how would it handle this situation? Because the AI understands and knows what's in our products. And it will also tell them, well, actually it already, might already do that, or someone's already suggested that, and you can upvote their idea rather than your idea.
Oh God, how interesting. So in the very basic principle of that, because one of the hardest things of this is having the non-tech person communicate with the tech person and back, isn't it? Because we speak different languages, and so there's a failure in translation often.
Yes.
So you're saying then your Feature Factory is the translator?
Absolutely, yeah, because it's translating from and asking a bit more thought from the customer to say, what do you really mean by that? So that it can translate that to our developers who can go, right, well, that's how we could implement that. And I say to the developers, because right now, yes, they are still working to develop products and solutions. In reality, we've actually got AI coding agents that are doing a lot of the coding. And if you spoke to my development team and said, how much coding are you doing now compared to 2 years ago? Vastly reduced. Where they're spending their time now, writing specifications, getting data, getting that context, doing quality assurance, deciding what goes into the products. So the speed at which they've been able to move has rapidly increased.
So that massively reduces your lead-in times for delivery to a customer, presumably.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of a way we work, and then we've started implementing it in our products. So if you went and used Vicinity Trails, for example, you can create a trail.
I went on your webinar for that. Well, watched your webinar. It's really good.
Lots of questions. I was impressed by the interest on it. It was great. Yeah. So, but you can build a trail in a place just by asking the AI that's built into that solution. Say, give me a heritage trail around central London, and it will plot it on a map. And then you could say, okay, can I have an audio description of every place, and it generates the AI generates the audio description, so as you're walking around. And so we've implemented it into our products there.
How does it, I can't remember because I was on that webinar. How does it create the audio? Is it the bid voice, or do you choose a voice?
You can choose a voice.
It amuses me because I'm amusing myself over the first time we hired a car, a very long time ago, 20 years ago, that had a sat-nav, and you could choose which accent they had. And we thought how amusing it was that we chose someone with a South African accent, even though we were in Scotland.
We're working with someone in Liverpool, and they really want a Scouse accent. But it doesn't have. So we're using a third-party tool called 11 Labs, and people can go look it up. It's brilliant for anything that's kind of speech to text related. And so all the system's doing there really is it's taking the description that you've inputted, or the AI's inputted into that system, sending it to 11 Labs. 11 Labs is giving us the audio back, and we're storing that against the location on the trail, so that when someone walks within the proximity of that location, it will automatically play. So that it will say, you are at Westminster Abbey, and this is what you are seeing, and this is the history, what have you. And so you've sort of got various bits of AI working in that chain to create that experience for that.
So if you're in Shakespeare's England in Stratford-upon-Avon, could you have like an oldie English? Is it that clever?
So you can give it you can add your voice to 11 Labs' library.
Okay.
So we've just used some of their ones that are available. But I've suggested to Andy and my team that because he's from Liverpool, that he needs to do the recording in 11 Labs, and then we can put it in as a Scouse accent in there.
Yeah, but it's sort of because I think one of the concerns of utilising AI for things that are about place, or one of the concerns I know, I've spoken to a lot of bids ahead of doing this podcast because I kind of wanted to just get a feel for what the base level was, and there's a concern about lack of authenticity, of some kind of standardisation. But actually, what you're saying is we can make this as locally feeling and focused as we want, but we're just utilising a route that isn't necessarily the person that lives in Liverpool. Yeah,
I can't remember how. I think you have to talk to it for a couple of minutes or something, and then it will extrapolate out your voice to create a voice record within their system, and then you can give it any piece of text, and then it will use your voice within that system.
How long do you think it will be before we don't need to actually do this podcast and we get an AI agent to do it for us?
Sorry. Have AI agents talking to one another.
No, we probably will. Let's not go there.
Irreplaceable. Really. Irreplaceable.
So voice on the trails, presumably map focused. It does it take you place to place? How does it do that?
The AI is going, and it does the Google search to find the locations, the address, longitude, latitude, and dropping the pin on the map for you. Okay. Or you can drop it on yourself.
And then the visuals, what does it put up in terms of pictures of places before you get to the place, so that you know what you're looking for? Does it do that in the trail?
Not with AI. So you can generate images with AI of that place.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't recommend that. There's definitely areas within this where actually, as we say a lot, local knowledge is your superpower. Yeah. Actually, the AI, when you're creating a trail, will do a pretty good job. Mm-hmm. It'll do a better job in a heritage trail in Paris than it would do on a heritage trail in Boston Spa, for example, because there's obviously some very famous landmarks and what have you. But so I always say to people when they create one, check where it is where you think it is. And you might disagree with the route, and there's definitely power in local knowledge, because AI has it has a massive amount of context, these engines do. And part of I'm sure we'll get on to speaking about this, and AI assistance is actually, if you can give it a smaller amount of context, you can get a better result and better answer. Yeah. And there's a bit to your personalization point as well. If you are asking it, hold on, I am this person, treat me as this person and give me a response, you'll get a more personalized and a better response than if you just asked your initial question. Right.
And that this is an example probably of my sense is that everything I've touched, and it's not much, everything I've touched in relation to AI continually reminds me that it helps me do a task, it speeds up a task, it simplifies a task, but it needs human end to end. That I'm not letting go of it yet, because I feel like there's a human element still required. And in these trails, you take a huge amount of the legwork, excuse the pun, out of it. Didn't even know I was saying that till I said it. And then you still have to do that human overview of
oversight.
Has it got those pinpoints right? Are those images right? Are those voices right? Is it all coming together? Because isn't the worst thing we can do in those kind of particularly public-facing, consumer-facing things, run on ahead with technology and then get it wrong and be criticised for it? Because there's a lot of people who want to shoot this down still, isn't there?
I'm sure there are. I'm just reminded of that saying of, I don't know, thinking about the football being on at the moment, and it's like, Cristiano Ronaldo's the biggest penalty scorer ever, but he's also missed more than anyone ever.
Right.
And so there's a degree of, yes, some things are going to go wrong, but how do you make sure it's just not damaging when they do get it wrong? Go back to human in the loop, I think, is still an important concept within this, and human oversight, because you set it off to achieve a goal which you have as an individual, or as an individual within an organisation, and has it achieved, and what you need to achieve is going to be different to what the next person is looking for.
Okay, so you've got a feature factory that I think sounds great. You've got trails enabled, which is and trails are being used quite a lot, aren't they? I mean, I'm not up to speed now, but lots of bids have picked this up, haven't they?
Trails are I think one of those things where some bids will almost roll their eyes because we do trails. Yeah, there's all sorts of ways of doing trails. I think the key thing with that platform that we've now created is it's almost like a marketplace of trails. So anybody can come create a trail. We're working with some social media people to do that, working with tour operators and bids and people who have a stake in place and also making them revenue generating so people can actually sell their trails. So our chap in Liverpool, again, he's created pub crawls. And Americans seem to keep buying them, so they're obviously coming off the cruise ship.
Of course they do.
And they do the Beatles pub crawl around Liverpool, which is quite good. So are those, I suppose, into our products, but then the stuff that's going to be more relevant, I suppose, to bids and places is actually us as an organisation, because we can pick almost any element. Take what we're doing here. My AI assistant can book this meeting room for me, and then we come here and we film this, and the editors will clip from the 3 different cameras and the audio, and AI will put all that together for us. And then once that's done, we'll give it to a different form of AI, and it will take our 30, 40, sometimes we go over, episode.
Not now I'm in charge, Henry.
Absolutely. What time are we at?
I don't know, I've lost track.
And it will take clips from what we're doing. And shorts, absolutely.
I've learnt that bit.
Which we can put onto TikTok and YouTube.
Which has made us quite prolific on those sites now, hasn't it? Well, in my world. I mean, my son laughs and says, well, you're not really trending, Mum. No, but, we've got quite a good audience, which is good. And that is, we're busy people, we're doing loads of things. We're trying to actually do the best we can with the assistance of technology to actually make sure we can spread it far and wide and be as efficient as we can. And I guess that's where I'm still at, my knowledge, and I think probably a lot of people in the bid world, and certainly in the conversations I've had in the last couple of weeks leading up to this, is there are a series of kind of simple standalone examples of how we are utilising things. And I know we're going to pick that up in another episode, but what we don't fully understand is the breadth and scope of this thing. So sort of give us a little bit then of where you see Vicinity going, and sort of how far along you are now. And I appreciate, I think one of the challenges, this is moving so quick, we actually don't know. It's really hard to horizon scan, isn't it? But where are you aiming for at the moment?
So I think you're right. The way that most people are using AI right now is they're probably interacting with ChatGPT, Gemini and those systems, and they're having probably quite transactional conversations. Can you do this for me? And you get the output back. Can you give me this report? And you get that output back. Can you do this research? And it comes back. The next step in this, we think, is looking at what we call AI assistants or AI agents. And so where we're trying to go with this is we've got about 900 maybe 1,000 users of our systems. And by users, I don't mean kind of members of the public on our apps. I mean bid managers, placemakers, people who use our CRM system, who are putting data in and out of that system. And we'd like to give all of them an AI assistant. And so where we've got to is...
Well, that sounds quite scary, doesn't it?
Tell
us that it isn't.
Yeah, no,
but I immediately think, oh, gosh.
Well, let me tell you about... I'll tell you about Orion. So Orion is my AI assistant. Lisa has one, Maverick. Orion. Oh. He hunts down information for me.
Oh,
that's primarily what his job is.
I like it.
Lisa's is Maverick. I'm not quite sure why. Nate's is Natebot. Simon's is Monty. But we've got these AI assistants, AI agents.
You know my brain is going to naming my own already, don't you? Goodness me, I've got to slow down.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love the fact that Lisa's is Maverick. That's perfect. Yeah.
They can do...
I'm there on Top Gun.
Maybe it's a bit rogue. Maybe that's why she's called it.
Yeah.
But they can do anything that you can do on a computer.
Okay.
So you can give your AI assistant access to your email system. You can give it access to your calendar. I could give it access to the room booking system for here, CRM. And our agents have their own browser that's built in.
Do you know this is actually scaring the life out of me?
Why?
I don't know, because I don't know about it. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. Yeah, okay. Because I'm a control freak. So the idea of giving all this to something else, it isn't even someone else, something else. I struggle to delegate to somebody else, let alone to a thing that I haven't named yet. Anyway, you carry on.
It will be interesting. We'll have to give you one.
Oh, God.
Because you still have control. Right, you are giving it the instruction to do these things. But what makes it different to going onto ChatGPT, for example, is that it can work in the background. So you can give it a task and it will, and leave it to go and do that task for a much longer period of time. And you can get it to schedule tasks. So every day, Orion looks through my emails and it pulls out any emails that are from customers and it classifies them as customer issue, sales opportunity, and basically tells me what I might need to do that day based on that.
So I could schedule mine. I've got to think of its name whilst we're on this podcast. So I could schedule mine to interrogate my inbox whilst I'm in a day of meetings, ready for when I get on the train, to then assess it all.
Yeah,
rather than
draft
just
the replies.
Wow.
And leave them as drafts in your inbox.
Okay.
And maybe if you connected it up to your CRM system, it would log each email as an interaction that you've had with someone in your CRM system. So what Orion does is when one of those comes in, and let's say it's from someone we don't know, someone who's making an inquiry, Orion will go off and take their email name and go to its browser, and I've given it a skill. Basically, you train them on skills, basically a procedure you want them to follow. So I say, okay, Orion, go to that organization's website, find out who they are, find out what their job title is, find out what their contact information is. Then I say, maybe go to LinkedIn, see does that verify it? And then I ask it to put it in my CRM, and it does all that for me before I've even know that's come in the morning.
And then playing devil's advocate, because I'm a very visual person, and the way I remember things is by seeing that I've done them. By doing them, but also seeing that I've done them. So I'm quite a writer, because I visualise the activity by having written the thing, written the words. So if my unnamed AI agent has done all of that, how do I remember that that's happened? Because I know it's happened because I'll see but how do I remember that's happened?
Well, your agent can give you a report of what's happened. Okay. Would be the first thing. And the other thing is it's doing things in these systems. So you'll see your drafts in Gmail. If you've got your CRM, you'll see new contacts have appeared in your CRM. And there are some other ways that within the workspace of the assistant, which we have.
So we retrain our brain to remember things in a different way, because I would be remembering by seeing the action has been done rather than doing the action.
I think.
I'm getting into the kind of brain space
but
here.
But it's a really important point, right? Because they are a bit of a black box, right? In a sense that you give it inputs and you get outputs, and you don't really know what it's done in the middle.
That's what's making me nervous.
Right, but there's ways you can get transparency into what's happening within the box.
I need a white box. No, I need a clear box.
And so it's definitely a good point, which is how do you make sure that when you're using an AI assistant that you understand what it's done and it's done it in the right way, and what permissions have you given it to what systems to make sure it can only has the right amount of access, and so but you can tell it rules, right? So I told mine, always put the email as in draft, never send one.
Oh, that's good.
So it doesn't send one unless I explicitly say send that email.
Yeah.
But as a control freak, the nice thing is you are sort of bossing something around.
Okay. That sounds more appealing again.
Yeah. you tell it exactly. It's like the smartest and the dumbest thing both at the same time. It's the smartest in that it's got access to far more knowledge and memory than any of us as individuals do as a person. But it's the dumbest in that you have to be quite precise. And there's a good book. Simon recommended it for people. I'll put the name in the How to Talk to AI and How Not to.
Okay. I think I should read that.
Yeah, Simon and my team recommended that one, which actually says instantly recommends not necessarily anthropomorphizing them and giving them a name, but we've kind of.
But you've done that anyway.
Yeah, I think it happens. Because they are more akin to an assistant or an employee than they are to, as most people are using AI now, an add-on to a tool.
Yeah.
So the way I envisage people using our assistants will be 100 people have just come to this bid event. We've got that in Eventbrite, or we've got that in a spreadsheet. Instead of having to put that into the CRN or uploading the CSV, you just say to in natural language, you chat to it, literally, you can speak to it, or you could chat to it and say, hey, Orion, can you stick all those people into the CRM, please?
Oh my God, I'm feeling liberated, potentially.
Hopefully. Well, I think those are the easy wins, right? Getting data. The way the software's been developed has changed, and we're now developing software a lot quicker. It's also a lot more accessible. I didn't say this, by the way, but it's my team are now building software, not my developers.
Okay.
So Heather and my team who manages a lot of our customer relationships, she built a system to help her manage like the renewal process and the interaction she's having with customers, almost like a project management, task management system. Instead of buying one off the shelf, which does 100 things she doesn't want, it does exactly what she wants it to do and nothing else. And then Andy and my team, with our apps, we have all this content, right? Deals, discounts, loyalty schemes, trails, events. Lots of places want to put all that content onto their websites as well. Yeah. And they go to a web developer and we say, look, here's our API into our system, and the web developer says, oh, it's thousands of pounds, and we've had bids go, oh, we just don't have the budget for that right now. So Andy went away, and he's built a system which will take the content from our API, and he can just give our customers now a little piece of code called an iframe, and you just put that code in the right place on your website, and it will do the rest for you, and it will make it look good and put it into your website. So that's a non-developer who's created. And so now that's with our development team who are checking it for quality assurance and making sure it works and it's maintainable. And if it passes all those tests, it's something we can add into our solution, which just makes life a bit easier for bids and places.
Wow. And you know what? I knew this was going to blow my brains, and it's already blowing them. And my head's still stuck on the black box point.
Sorry,
yes.
No,
because
that's an important one.
Interestingly, because on the black box point, just a while back, I was listening to another podcast, and there was reference to various different technologies and the sort of, the good and the bad and the evil. And one of them was why insurance companies are so keen for motorists to have black boxes, because they can learn the language of driving of the insured driver, and then know if it wasn't that driver, the insured driver, driving when a crash happens. And I was in the car listening to this thinking, oh my God.
Like an airplane black box. It's there, not mean it's recording the language if they're swearing or not.
No, the literal, I mean actual
identifying
driving.
Who is the
identifying
person driving
the
at the
driving
time of the
style. And then it realises, if you try and wing it because somebody had a somebody had a crash in your car who wasn't insured, they know it wasn't it wasn't the insured driver, they know it was someone else.
And if you're willing to put one in, you get a discount on your premium. If you're not willing to put one in, then interesting.
Yeah. And so and I guess that's the point, isn't it? There's so much scope, and what we have to continually do is work out how best we can use it at any time, and ensure that there's this balance, isn't there, between consolidating the basics to make sure that we've got all those basics done, all those kind of no-brainer things, and then moving on to kind of the future. So I suppose let's try and wrap up this basic first episode, because let's not go too far. I think the next episode, we're going to really talk about what bids are doing and what they're not doing and everything else. So
did I sort of give enough relevant examples, do you think? Because I know there's a lot of sort of examples that would for us as a software businesses, but I hope I got the point across that there's almost not an aspect of our business that hasn't changed. And I know someone responded to you talking about recruitment, just to pigeonhole one last one in there, saying, you know, you've got challenges with AI as a recruitment where you've got 100 CVs coming in now, and they all look at the same. And it's kind of hard to understand who is the individual behind these. Yeah. And then you've got, I think I heard Zanny Minton-Beddoes from The Economist talking about this the other day on a podcast, and she said exactly the same thing. And then you've got businesses the other side who are then using AI to then analyse those CVs that are coming in. So we started putting Easter eggs in our when we're recruiting. So there's something hidden in a job application. Okay. And so only those people that find that and respond to it will. I've
heard a few examples like that, actually. And I know myself, having done quite a lot of recruitment in the last 2 or 3 years, to be honest, one of my pet hates is inadequate use of AI. Because if you're, as a candidate, if you're going to apply and use AI, use it well and comprehensively, or not at all. Because it's my pet hate to receive a covering letter that's been AI'd within an inch of its life and is all, bells and whistles, and a CV that is written so badly and so badly laid out. That exposes, if that's the candidate's base work on their own, it's rubbish, versus the super glossy, brilliantly worded and brilliantly presented covering letter. And it switches me off. So actually, if they can't equalise the effort, don't do it at all. Yeah. And actually, I'd have another terrible pet hate on a very basic level. It's so obvious when someone's used AI and left all the icons in, isn't it? Don't go and you leave all those awful
the emojis they puts in sometimes.
And like on LinkedIn, it's okay to do it because it kind of seems to work in that. Some things it works, the context, but it doesn't when you're producing, I don't know, like in the body of an email or a report, and you've left all those cringe. It's like the old. You're too young to know about clip art, are you? It's like the old clip art.
Yeah. Clippy, the paperclip.
Oh God, and I just used to cringe when you just stop using clip art. The
M dash is the telltale sign. Have you noticed that?
M dash.
The M dash. The longer dash, rather than the short dash, which I hit it on there. It's like two of them together.
I didn't know that's what it was called, but somebody said that to me the other day. The longer dash.
It's a telltale sign.
I didn't realise that. So I'm learning all the time. I'm moving from donkey to pony or something. So in wrapping up this one, on the basics, on what we should and shouldn't be doing, I guess my sense, Henry, is from a bid perspective, and I'm thinking all of this absolutely internally in the bid businesses, not what bids can do for their business members. I'm still thinking about it in the context of the bid itself. Some real basics about kind of getting all the staff to the same base level. I'm experiencing a lot about, and I don't want to be overtly judgmental on this because this may not be entirely true, but commonly the youngest and most junior member of the team knows the most, and the senior, most mature member of the team then knows the least, and it's creating an imbalance of relationship in a team. So kind of first base is get some basic training in place, understand together where the scope is, and get to kind of first base together so that you haven't got this massive mismatch of skills, and then get to a point of a policy. Does that sound right?
It does, and I'd say let those younger people be curious.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not putting them off doing it. No, absolutely.
Even if I had less knowledge but wanted to show leadership in that position, I think I would be saying, so I don't understand this, but here you are. Here's a Lovable subscription or a Replit subscription with 100 credits in it. Just see what you can build that's going to be useful and in your job, and that I think you will be well liked by that younger generation, and actually you'll be surprised by what people can come up with, because again, going back to my world, there's definitely thinking in the software world, which is actually, will people buy some of these smaller tools from an external supplier when actually, they could build them themselves, and it will do exactly like the example with Heather and Andy, build them themselves very quickly. Website. If I was a web developer right now, if you're a bid looking at doing your website, check out Lovable, check out Replit. Those kind of tools. I built a 56-page website in 2 days for about 40 quid.
Wow.
And go and see our website and tell me if you think it's badly done.
Oh, that's a good challenge.
And I've done it through a chat, right? There's no code. It's me talking. Natural language. Oh, can you make that? Oh, can you? I'll give it a Word doc and say, can you write me a case study? And it'll go and it'll do that.
I have to say that's one of the things I've discovered that is just such a no-brainer. You've got material of some sort or another, and you need it in a different format, and you need a summary, and you need it. I'll have it in a table, please, and can you put bullet points, and can you do me an executive summary, and I can't think of a suitable job title for this post. Here's some ideas, and it comes up with 20 job titles. Those are the things that are just so straightforward, and why wouldn't you do that?
And it's important because they matter. Like, you want your presentation to look good, and you want your document to be properly formatted. But why spend an hour of your time doing that when you can ask AI to do it in 30 seconds?
Well, there is. I can answer that of why, because actually there's a reason why you wouldn't do it. And again, I guess one of my pet hates, and we're all looking at these now. When somebody does an AI-generated, designed poster and puts it on LinkedIn, and it's clearly entirely AI-generated and doesn't feel like it's got a brand, a base brand, commensurate with the organisation. I just think that's not the right way to do it. You can use the starting point. You have to still adapt to make it be yours, not anybody's. So
I'd say two things. That one is, I think with better prompting, you can get to a better result. But it's there's almost a quality, isn't there, sometimes, and you can kind of look at something and go, oh, that's be generated with images, I think, in particular. The other area I find that I don't have a very good solution for right yet is actually slide decks. I still find them a bit cumbersome within the AI solutions that I've used. But
I've been quite horrified actually about slide decks. I'd forgotten about this. You've just triggered that one. A while back, and it's probably 2 years ago, I was needing to pull together a presentation for somebody, and I was just trying to track my mind back on when have I talked about this historically, and how far back have I gone, and I was trying to get some historical context, because and maybe I shouldn't be, but I always kind of write for the moment because I like it to be relevant now rather than just picking something sort of back off my archives. But I ended up just prompting for a slide deck on this. It was topic around bids, and just gave it like half a dozen prompts. And it produced me an annoyingly good presentation. I just thought, why have I spent all this time all these years? I kind of read into the detail a bit more and thought, no, it's okay, because I've got more authenticity than that, because I know an example that I can use. But I was amazed how good it was so quickly.
Yes. Oh, what annoys me about them is you get to that point, but then if you want to tweak anything, is it in a format that you can then tweak them? That's when I find.
Yeah. Well, I was only doing it to get content to then trigger me to then do
something
more.
else. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
But I think that's a good point. So that is part. The journey that I think people should be going on is how do you get from transactional to actually using it as a partner in your process. So instead of getting it, hey, can you do this for me? Start out by saying, I'm trying to achieve this. How would you think about this? What would you recommend that I do? And work with it through your process. And I think you'll be amazed at how much better a result you can be. Almost let it, what do they call it in education when it's like student-based learning? Okay. And you kind of, rather than trying to, you let the student sort of guide. Yeah. It's almost a similar thing here. You almost want that, let the AI guide you.
Yeah.
Give me some recommendations. I'll choose that one, please,
Yeah.
and let's implement that and go for it. And
Yeah.
I think that's sort of in the next level for people to get to, is using it as a partner and then looking at how you get it integrated into different systems so it has access to different data, and then looking at assistants and agents, and we can dig more into that if you like.
Yeah, and that just as final point, because I'm going to keep being triggered by lots of different things, but that just reminds me of something you said earlier. It got me. I was sort of having a side thought as you were talking about if Orion becomes your best colleague and
he won't everyone.
and Orion answers all your questions and asks you questions back, and you get that great dialogue between you. How do you maintain your relationship with Lisa and Nate? No, you know, and I was just thinking from a bid perspective as a team.
Yeah.
One of the most important things about delivering in bids in very small teams is the team dynamic of the people, people working well and bouncing off each other. So there's a danger here. If we allow ourselves to create our own little agents, we stop becoming a dynamic team, don't we?
I think my agent allows me to spend more time where it matters.
Okay.
And that doesn't necessarily mean more time with my team, but my team are able to focus on the things that they do best, and the things where they can add more value, and Orion is taking away tasks and enabling them to do better at what those things. I think the more there is definitely, and this goes back to the anthropomorphizing AI point, you know, there's growing instances of people feeling a deeper connection to their AI.
Oh God!
No, this is genuinely.
This is never going to take over my feelings of my horses. You know that, don't you?
No, I'm sure that whatever we name, you know, your AI assistant, but there are concerning aspects there around mental health and connections people forming with a non-sentient, and it is when if Orion goes down for any reason, now, because I'm so used to working almost through him, you know, I set him off on a task, or you know, we've hit a credit limit or something, which is something that frequently happens.
Do you feel bereft?
Yeah, there's almost this moment when you're like, oh, what am I going to do now? I've got to go back to I've got to write this myself.
It's like a messy divorce or something.
So I'm on the phone to Nate. And Nate, we need more credits.
Right, okay, so let's wrap up on this one. I mean, I think it's really, really helpful. I think what you've inspired me is, whilst feeling like the donkey at the beginning, there's easy, small steps to get to a kind of base level. And I think what bids really need to do is get to that base level together as a team first, inspired by either the youngster, if there's a youngster in the team who is the real tech one, or it might well be an older person, and let the most creative drive that kind of journey and see where we get to, and continue to be sure that we're getting an AI policy in place that will probably change 3 or 4 times in the next year, because everything is rapidly changing, but get a policy so that everyone's on the same starting point and everyone has full disclosure on what they're doing and not doing with AI, rather than having somebody running ahead, perhaps without permissions or systems in place or anything else, and getting into a kind of danger zone. So I guess any final thoughts, Henry, to reassure bids that this is a good journey to go on?
I could understand why it could feel overwhelming, and I've talked about a whole bunch of things which bids don't need to worry about, don't need to action and think that they need to be implementing. I've just tried to give an example for how the changes have affected our business and how every part of our business. But I think that point stands, that AI is such a transformational technology that every sort of process or aspect of your organization, you will probably need to consider whether you continue to do it in the same way in the future or not. And the answer might be, no, well, this has human connection and we need this part. So we're absolutely going to keep doing our business engagement visits face to face. Quite
Yeah.
right. But there are going to be other things where you go, actually, we have to change, recruitment's going to have to change because we're getting 100 CVs through the same,
Yeah.
or we should change because I don't want that person spending all that time writing reports when now I can get my AI assistant to do it for me.
Yeah. Great. So all that's left to decide is what my AI assistants are going to be called. And I've been sat here thinking, well, if it's a donkey, perhaps it should be Eeyore. Or if in my pace of advancement in the AI world, it's a tortoise, perhaps it should be Terry. I don't know.
Terry.
We'll leave it there, shall we? Answers on a postcard.
That's it. We write in. We need to write in. Or you get your AI to write in and tell us what should we name Julie's AI assistant.
Brilliant. Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.